Hi, my name is Ryan Cheek, and today we will be going over the toString method in Java. Whenever possible, every class should provide a toString method. The toString method formats an object's data in a sensible way and returns a string. This is an example of a stock class. As you can see, the toString method at the bottom returns any variable you wish to view at a certain state and time of that object. This is an example of stock demo 1, in which a new stock object is created named XYZ Company. It is passed the name XYZ and a share price of 9.62. There are two ways to call the toString method. The first way is an explicit call. And what that means is when you pass, for say, the object and you want to print the toString method, you include the .toString call as a part of the XYZ Company object. An implicit call means that you pass strictly the object name to, say, the printline method, and Java will automatically go inside the object, find the toString method, and call it. Example: write an employee class that holds the employee name, emp name, and the number of sales they have made, num sales. The employee class should include a constructor, accessor, and mutator methods for num sales, and a toString method to display the employee's current state. The constructor should accept the new employee's name as an argument and initialize num sales to 0. Demonstrate this class in a separate program, employee demo. Alright, so here I have my employee class, and for speed I've already got most of it set up. I've got the string emp name to hold our employee name, and an integer num sales to hold, say, the number of sales that employee has made. I've got my constructor employee, which accepts, and the string, which is going to be employee name. I set employee name equal to the parameter, and I will go ahead and initialize my num sales to 0. I've got an mutator and an accessor method for setting the num sales equal to a value and getting the num sales. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I want to add a toString method. And as I said before, the toString method basically returns the state of an object. And what that means is, say you have 3 employee classes set up and you want to check and see where each employee is and how many sales they've made. Well, you can call a toString method to return the employee and all their information, and you can just kind of see where each employee is at that state. So what we're going to do is we're going to do public string. It's going to return a string. We're going to call it toString, no parameters. Okay, so we're going to do return. Alright, now first off, we're going to want to return the employee name, so we'll go ahead and do, I guess we'll keep it a name. Alright, and then we'll do emp name. Alright, so that'll return this string plus employee name, plus we'll want to do a new line. We'll do number of sales plus num sales, and then we'll go ahead and do a new line after that. Alright, so basically your toString method is going to return a string of whatever information of that object you wish to see when you check the state of that object. So say we had amount of sales, which would be the amount in dollars of the sales they've made. We could return that if we wanted to. We could return the number of years the employees worked for a company, for instance, but for right now we'll just keep it at employee name and number of sales. Alright, so I'm going to save that. I'm going to go over to my test employee class, and as you can see, I've got it set up with my commenting at the top, Ryan Cheek, program test the employee class, would have no input, and the output will be the employee's current state of what we set up. So I've already got my class, my test employee is the same name as the file, and my main method. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to set up a new employee class, new emp, equals new employee, and we'll go ahead and just pass it my name. Okay, so what we can do is we can come down, and there are two ways we can call the toString method. The first way is going to be explicitly, and what that means is we're going to do new imp dot toString, and we're going to actually include the toString as part the function call. Okay, so now let's test this. Run. Alright, compiled fine. Now when I run it, alright, as you can see how we had it set up, it went into my object, new imp, and returned the string, which was comprised of my name and my number of sales. And just to prove that my other methods kind of work, we can do new imp dot set sales. We'll go ahead and say I lucked out and did 5 sales. And that's actually set num sales. Make sure you get the method names right. So now when I print this out, it should print out Ryan Cheek and number of sales is 5. So recompile it, and there you go. Ryan Cheek, number of sales 5. Alright, now the second way we can call a toString method is implicitly. What that means is if you just go ahead and have the object name new imp inside of the print line, what it'll do is it'll automatically go into that object and search for a toString method. So when we compile this and call it, it did the exact same thing as when we used the explicit method and actually included the toString method name and printed out the employee status of at that time, which is what we're looking for. The toString method is useful to display the current state of an object, returns a string that displays data as you desire, can be called explicitly or implicitly.